Oh, look, you can see all the mess. I really need to tidy up again. How are you? I'm shuffling our colours. I'm going to do a better job this week. I want them all really muddled up so we'll never know what we're going to get. Hi, Helen. Are you all right? How's everybody feeling? Has everybody had a lovely weekend? Hi, Shaz. Oh, we're shuffling. I've got no idea what we're doing. No idea what we're going to use. Yeah, we will see. Hi, Brenda. I feel loads better today. I'm coughing though, like I've worked down the pits since I was 5. I've got sucky sweets, so that seems to stop it. It's just like everybody seems to have it at the minute. This cold and cough and it's ridiculous. What do you think we're going to get? Hi, Hillary. I'm feeling stacks better today. Thank you very much. Colour week has you scared? Absolutely not. No. We've got, these are the Pantone postcards. I got these off Amazon. The box will come in handy when I eventually work my way through all these. And I thought every week for the entire year or until everybody gets bored of it, we will pick a colour, any colour. I won't know what it is. I've got no clue what I'm using. Not a clue what the plan is. And I just thought inspiration. It'll get us thinking. It'll get us moving. I'd love for everybody to play along. Hi, Susan. Hi, Sheila. Hi, anybody that I've missed. Heidi, hi. And yeah, we'll just see what happens. I mean, I've got a whole craft heap behind us, so I'm sure we can find something in that particular colour. Or even if we find that colour and we find a contrasting colour that we wouldn't normally use to go with it, mix some colours up. Maybe some weeks we'll pick 2 colours and we'll have to make them work together. So we will see. And I think I'm going to have to know which one to go for. I'll go for this one under here, then I definitely don't know what it is. Last week we had like a light coffee colour, coffees and cream colour. Really? Should I pick another one? Because we had this colour last week, didn't we? Very similar. What do you think? Or should we do it again and see if we can come up with something totally different? Art magic. Pick again? Pick again? Yep. Shuffle them around a bit more. This one. Yellow. So Pantone 100. And just to prove that they're all really different, I've shuffled them all within an inch of the light. So yellow. And to be honest, we've had blue skies the past couple of days, so yellow is a good colour. Pick again. So if we end up with the same-ish or very similar colours, what we'll do is we'll pick again each week, yeah? So last week was like coffees and cream and cake colours, and this week it is yellow. And bananas have popped into my head. I don't think I've got anything crafty bananas. Crafty bananas. So what colour would you not usually use with yellow? Given a choice. Any particular colour that you would never normally use with a yellow. Susan, I put my washer on. Well, I put washing in the washer, thought I pressed the button and only realised about an hour and a half ago that I hadn't actually turned it on. So hopefully it'll be nice again tomorrow and I'll be able to get it out. You wouldn't usually use red with yellow. Art has no rules, absolutely. Right. See, yellow is a colour I use very often, but this is the page we made last week. I can't remember if I remembered to actually take a picture of it and put it on Facebook. but this is what we made last week, and I'm thinking we'll just carry on in the same book. I am going to skip a couple of pages. I've noticed the pages are very thin, so I am going to start gluing 2 pages together, especially if we're going to purple and yellow. See, I tend to use yellow quite often, so it's really one of those colours for me, but yellow lifts every other colour. I am working on a craft paper, so actually I'm thinking what we're going to do is I'm going to gesso it so it's white. Actually I'm not, I'm going to acrylic paste it so it's white. And then when the yellow is put on it, it will make it pop. I'm just looking for, what is this? This here actually is, you're not going to believe it. It's got one of my school reports in. My dad gave us it the other day, and I'm going to use the plastic file. An old school report of mine. I'm going to use it to stick the pages together, and so I don't get paint all over the other side. I would have used purple. You wouldn't have used a purple. Yeah, see, I tend to use yellow a lot to lift all the other colours. Yellow, pinks, blues. It tends to be the primary colours I go for, because then you mix any other colour from them. And you don't often, unless you really, really mix them together, get mud. Which purple and yellow together, you can't actually get mud if you don't separate them. But how about we use, that is gel medium I'm using to glue the pages together. You could just use normal glue, but I want to use it with a paintbrush. This is the one, Heavy Body Gel. It actually doesn't say much about art. It's just ticky things about, it's just boxes ticking, asking if I put in enough effort. And I think I got satisfactory in most things. Satisfactory, even PE, so my guess is whoever filled it out didn't really pay much attention to what I actually did like. I got tries in PE, which I don't think I ever did PE. But you know. I passed art though. The thing is, in my school that I went to, it had asbestos in the roofing. They were getting loads of work done just before we were doing our exams. And all the art files from our class ended up having to be incinerated because they had asbestos on them. Asbestos, what you get from asbestos, isn't it? So I think I probably would have gotten a better grade than I did in art if they hadn't incinerated my work. Not that many schools are actually interested in art, mind. Oh, there we go. I'm going to dry it off. I'm just going to use the heat tool. I do have the quiet one, so if you're wearing earphones, it might not blast the eardrums off. Hang on, I'm just untangling my plugs. I've got chargers and all sorts down here. So what I'm thinking is, you said purple. I'm going to move that now. Purple. A Rolling Stones report. What does that mean? I'm trying to think of the songs. The report's not bad actually. I wasn't too I was alright at school. I was actually quite well behaved, apart from PE. Right, so red was one of them. Purple. So yellow and purple's what we're using, yeah? And I think they go lovely together. So I've no clue what we're doing. As I'm drying this, I'll start to find something. I think we'll go for a bit collage. And how about a big purple, a big yellow flower on some purple backgrounds, eh? I can't get no satisfaction. Hi, Caroline and Sharon. Hi, girls. Right, so that's that glued together. It's probably not going to be totally dry, but let's go with, hang on, I'm grabbing some purple paint as well. I'm going to paint the background with acrylic paint, and that only seemed to have yellow ochre next to us. I have a yellow. Yeah, I think these lives are pretty much going to go like this. Me hunting for stuff. I think I found a yellow. Right. So I've got yellow, purple acrylic paint. I have this is ripped and this. I've got another sheet of that as well if need be. Right, we're ready. Grabbing what's next to us. What I'm going to do is, the trick is, especially with acrylic paints, is dry between layers. So, again, I don't want it all over. I just want, and that is definitely a brighter yellow, isn't it? How about we go yellow background and a big purple flower on the front. I like the sound of that. And we'll just pop a little bit of purple in the background that I'm going to do now. And actually, if you look at this, I've got purple and yellow in this background paper. They do work. So who's going to follow along doing this then? To be honest, this morning when I first started this, first started thinking about it, I've got all sorts out. I've got an MDF box, I've got a tissue box, what else did I find? I found a book cover, I found all sorts of stuff, but then I remembered that we said we were going to do it in this journal, so we can sort of see how we progressed out the year. I think I might have to change it up though. Right. I think that'll be enough. Oh, off last week as well. Remind us before we go, I have the envelope with the goodies in, so you can recreate the page and I'll pick a winner because the comments are showing up. I'm hoping all of the comments are showing up now. But if you comment and share things on this one, I'll do exactly the same. I'll pack some goodies together so we can do something similar. Obviously, if I use a stamp, you can't have that. But the papers and things, I can pop in some, I'll pop in some goodies. And you see there, actually I can go over and I'll cover it. The yellow and the purple, you see how when you use the purple over the top, you get a brown. So it might be good, you know, with whatever colours and things that you've already got at home, to start a colour chart, put a blob of each colour. So say you've got a pack of 24 acrylic paints, put a blob of each one and then mix them. So make a chart with all little boxes and then mix them and see what happens and see what you get, because that's always a good exercise to actually find out what you like with colours and what doesn't work and what works. I mean, when you go to the hairdressers, that's what you get, isn't it? Why not the stamp? If I've got two, you can. There we go. I'm not bothered about being totally dry. I am going to tear the card up But like I said last week, I do want to kind of keep this bit of it. Just for a reference of what we've done and what colours wash. Hi, Jules. I'm sorry if you can hear us clanking this. I've got horse soothers for me old man cough. So I don't start coughing, because I can't stop once I start. Just in case you can hear it clanking around my mouth. I know, it's always lovely coming to my lives. So who's used the Thirsty Brush pages yet? The papers? I don't mind, honestly, as long as I know it's going to get used. I'd rather... I can't always give the Thirsty Brush stuff away, obviously, because that's like a business. But if I've got it here, you can have it. I'm more than happy to share. More than happy. Hi, Roseanne. Right, let's build it up. For each of these, now I know it might get tedious and normally do it beforehand. Have I got a black? We'll use Versafine because it's oily. For each of these, I am going to ink around the edges, and it will give it a definition. You don't have to use black. You don't have to do it at all if you don't want to, but you'll see the contrast and difference when I do put them down, how much they pop forward, especially with using the purple in the background now. But this is quite tedious watching us from start to finish, but sorry. Oh, sorry, not sorry. If you don't do it at the start, you can always go around it with like a watercolour pencil or something if you decide you do want it. But it's just sometimes easier just to do it and then it's done. Who's been getting crafty this weekend then? Anybody? Nobody? I cooked us noodles last night and it had like a sweet and sticky sour sauce on. And Kermit, the parrot, grabbed said noodles to steal one and dropped a big clump in the middle of me fluffy rug. So it took us ages to pick all the bits of sticky noodle out of me rug. So he was in the bad books for about 10 minutes. Oh, are you going somewhere nice, Roseanne? Yes, I'm looking forward to Tuesday to get going with it again. It's a shame, isn't it, that we'll have to wait a week. He's very naughty, is Kermit. He's like a toddler, a naughty toddler. But I did get to meet my brother. He's been getting a puppy. It's a Springador, a Labrador cross Springer. And he is the most gorgeous puppy you've ever seen. He's got the cutest face. But he's got a Labrador type face. And he's got the Springer ears. Oh, now I'm well, Jill. Well, Jill, Cyprus would be lovely. Absolutely lovely. Oh, a nice new kitchen as well. Shaz, honestly, he's 10 weeks. He's pretty much potty trained. He's only had him a few days because he had to wait until he had like loads of time off work because he wanted to really help him settle in. But he's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Because before he got him, he obviously checked with everybody that would be able to babysit because he works shifts. So my sister will probably get it mostly because she's got no kids. One of my sisters. He's adorable. Absolutely adorable. Pitch black. He's just got a tiny little spot of white on him. Hi, Dominique. He's just gorgeous. So well behaved as well, like I said. He spent most of his time hiding behind my brother's legs. Scared at first, but then once he discovered that we're not scary, he was absolutely fine. So tonight I've got a pulled out of the Pantone colour chart, Pantone 100, which is a yellow, if anybody's just coming in. And what we're doing is we're building up a collage. We asked everybody what colour they wouldn't usually use with yellow, and purple was the answer. So now I'm just building up a background of yellows, and I'm starting to think some creamy colour as well. Maybe some cream lace in with it, just to give it another layer. Magnetised pencil. It's for the iPad. Stuck to me scissors. Oh, watercolour, Roseanne, I bet you get hooked. Watercolour is so forgiving. So forgiving. It's fabulous. Just reading back. Right, I'm going to trim this down a little bit. And this is just lace. These are offcuts that I buy. I don't like go and buy big pieces of lace just for cutting up and putting in the background. I just buy the offcut. And we'll just add some of that in places. And again, it just adds a different layer of something. Yeah, oh, and Cyprus there will be. I'm totally jealous. I don't know if I'm going on holiday this year or not. Will not be able to do this if I go on holiday. Should I just not? Just stay here. I'm really hoping this becomes a thing that we do get to do all year round, because I think for inspiration it'll be nice. I do want to include this in somewhere, and I am going to pop it along the bottom. I really want to include them. Like last week, so I included it. Just here. We can cover a little bit. I'd like to keep a record of what we've done. Ugh. Sticky. My fingers are sticky. Everything's sticky. I'll send you the picture of Kermit with the noodle. I took a picture of a naughty... I shouted what? I've just heard him shouting what he must have heard his name. Come to Cornwall. Well, I was in Devon last year. Devon? Torquay? Is Torquay Devon? The puppy's called Diesel. He's absolutely adorable. I'm so sticky. I might need to wash my fingers here. Yeah, Diesel. He's very much... My brother is very... I'm sticking to everything. 2 seconds. I'm just going to... Further south. Get some glue off my fingers. Like a child with sticky fingers. I've got bits of black ink all over everything. It's a good job I'm going to put a big flower on it, isn't it? I'm still sticky. This has to be the tackiest glue in the world. Saying that, it does say tacky. Maybe that's just change what I'm doing. Hang on, I'm change glue. Express glue. Might dry quicker. Yeah, I got some new glue, in case you hadn't noticed. I ended up with, I got the Pantone glue, and then I ended up with the pin flare glue as well. So I've now got plenty of glue. So far I've made a mess, ripped some paper up and stuck my fingers together. And it's looking a little bit scary. I will agree with you there. But just wait. Trust the process. If it all goes wrong, I've decided it really doesn't matter, because it is just for inspiration. So I don't know if I can I still haven't worked out if I can put pictures on to here. You know how on the profiles there's a community, so when you click along you can see the videos and then the live videos. Obviously, most of mine are in the live, but if you go a little bit further, there's a community button. And I'm wondering if I can put pictures and things in there. I must be able to. Because I can share loads of stuff in there as I go. So again, the papers that I'm using are the Thirsty Brush Creative Papers, these ones. And then the other one is just the Pantone yellow that were pulled out. And all I'm doing is layering them up. This is a base. Don't panic. It won't be left like this. And we can actually stencil over the top of it as well if it's too gory, which I'm starting to think it might be a smidge too gory. Yeah, yes. It's a good idea. Absolutely not. It makes no difference to me. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. I'm not precious at all. It's a page, it's a bit of paper, and it doesn't matter. Because next time we do it, we know we've learned something. That's what it's all about, isn't it? And again, white can fix a multitude of problems, because I'm thinking the background there with all this purple might have been too purple, but I'm going to quickly dry this off a little bit, see if I can get rid of some of the tackiness. See if I can get some sticky. Fingers are still tacky. What's people got planned for the week? Anything? Nothing? Who wants to follow this along? Has anybody been getting any colour charts for paints? I know, Helen, I've seen yours off last week and it's fabulous. I love that you're going to play along. I really do. I hope people would get involved. I mean, it's all free as well, which is even better. You don't actually have to include the colour that you're using as well. I just kind of want to do it for a reference for us as we go. And I am going to cover some of that purple with white. And I do have a white. I do. I've got Titan both, that'll do. No, it won't. I want white. Oh no, the dentist. That sounds horrific. A lot of people seem to be going to the dentist lately. There we go. It looks better already, doesn't it? Just knocking that back a little bit. I think it was too purple, too dark. I hope it's all good and nothing needs done. Oh, braces off. So I missed that in the end. That's good. Should be pleased about that. Again, I'm going to actually cover some of these finger marks as well, because they look terrible. And immediately you can see how much better it's looking already. All we need to use is a lighter purple. Lesson number 1. And I still do have some yellow here, so if we decide that we want to put them back in, then we absolutely can. Oh, I love flapjack. There's not many people in this house that eat it though, i.e. me and Christopher. I'll eat it, but I end up having to eat it all. There we go. And still see some of the purple. I actually quite like that now. What are you thinking? What do you think? Better? The colour of the day is Pantone 100 and it's this lemon yellow colour. And what we've done is we have decided that purple is the colour that most people wouldn't actually use yellow with. So that is what we're doing. I'm going to add some more yellow in. Sorry. Oh, that sounds fabulous, Susan. Is it your 50th this year? That's absolutely fabulous. I love that plan. Will we see some of it on Facebook? I hope we do. Saying that, you might not want to. It's Pantone 100. It doesn't actually give us a name or anything for it. See, sunflowers. Now you see, that's exactly what I was thinking. I do have the crafty sunflower, but now I'm kind of thinking, because it's the purple we were going to put on the front, I don't know, can we do a purple sunflower? Is that too out there? Oh, fab. Ah, yes, crafty sunflower. But I'm thinking purple sunflower now. I really am, because I think the purple's going to look really, really nice. Especially now that we've toned some of that horrible dark purple down in the background. That was just too dark, but I actually really like that now. And stick with it, don't all vanish yet. I've got the crafty here actually. I think that's fate, isn't it? The fact that's right next to us as well. Should we go with the no line ink pad as well again? Do you think? I'm going to put this to one side and continue drying. Yellow corn and purple carrots. We tried to grow purple carrots and they never worked. And where is the... Oh. Right, we're doing a stamping with a block because I don't know where I've put it. Me Eureka. Shall we go with a no line as well? They didn't come out anything that came out, just loads of leaves. They looked like they were going to be absolutely fabulous, I have to say, by the leaves, but I think I just grew grass or leaves. Oh dear, pushing on too hard. And I tell you what else we can use. We can use the Distress crayons, the Distress watercolour pencils, because they're next to me. So I keep everything crossed that I've inked it all. Oh, Brenda, that's lovely. That's exactly what we need. I've actually discovered we have a llama. Are the llamas? Or what's the other ones with the curly hair? I think, yeah, we've got a llama farm not far from us. And I'm thinking they could probably, I'm sure it's a sanctuary or something, but she sells the wool and stuff from them, because that's how we ended up in touch with her. She came to one of the fairs and she was asking about my mum and her bags, and I was thinking they might need some cards and things, because obviously I make loads and stuff for TV and I do give you some away, but there's only so many I can give away and keep, isn't there? Can I make this fit on this side? I'm going to see what it looks like in the no line, and I'm going to see what it looks like with the black and see which one we prefer. There we go. It's a beautiful sunflower, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. Keeping clear as we go, because I'm going to die cut it out afterwards. And I need to be able to get to the machine. Right, where's my crayons? So I'm thinking Seedless Preserve is a pinky purple. So we'll go with that and then add the dark in with maybe some Villainous Purple. Do you think? Happy Sunday, Elizabeth. So, Seedless Preserve. So these are watercolour pencils. And they are the Tim Holtz Ranger ones. I have promised that I would use them a couple of times, but I've never actually gotten around to it. So all I'm doing is layering some colour down just at the bottom of the actual petals. And this is Seedless Preserve. It looks very purple at the minute. We might need to add some pink to it in the watercolour crayon colour. I know in the Oxide, the Seedless Preserve is like my favourite. Got ink all over me myself. Is my favourite. in the Oxides, the Seedless Preserve. I absolutely love the colour. But we'll see. Did you, Helen? They're good, aren't they? I like them. They're just something different. I do also like these ones. These are also a type of watercolour crayon. The Carandiash. I don't know what they are. I like them as well. They're a water-based, like pastel crayon type thing. Watercolour. These are a little bit harder than that though. And I'm going to go in with a no line. And just see what we get with it. Because at the minute I'm liking the black and the contrast. But we'll just see how we get on. It's all about experimenting this one. So it will be nice to see. If I go quiet, just give us a nudge. This is what happens when I get colouring at and be lost for hours. Right, where's my watercolour pencil, brush? Where is it? Can anybody see it from where you are? There, no. Need to clear some space. What are they? Right, I'm going to go with this one first. So this is the no line. And I'm sure that the colour will grab just as it did. Oh, it is. Look at this. Hold on. I'm going to come and show you. So all I'm doing is pulling the colour out. When you're using watercolour, ideally you do need a good watercolour card. And you can get some really reasonable priced ones. I know Tony has our own on Stamps by Me, but I don't know if it's in stock, and that's a more textured one. You can, however, get smooth watercolour cards, which is the heat treated one, and Pink Frog do a nice watercolour card, which is really reasonable priced on Create and Craft. I'm trying to think who else. There's loads and loads. You can get a mixed media card from Hobbycraft as well, which is also quite nice. That's got a purple front, but I do like a nice watercolour card. And I do tend to go for the, not really the hot press one. I don't mind a little bit texture. But look at that. Purple sunflower. Who's help recognise if that ruby is or diamond by colour? You'll have to rephrase that. It's totally stumped as that one. I'm looking around to see what you can see. These are art supplies. I wouldn't mind some rubies though. Oh, that's Mebby's, yes. That's Mebby's. I'm looking around looking for art. I've totally forgot to be talking about wedding anniversaries. That 5-second memory of mine. And again, just pull it out. I actually quite like the purple sunflower. The red ones I had, I know I keep coming back to them, but they were my absolute favourite. And there's pictures of them on my Facebook, and they were absolutely stunning. The red sunflowers. Now, I don't know which one I prefer. I think I'm going to stick with the black just for the contrast, because we've done the black round the yellow and things. I'm going to go in with Villainous Portion. I might actually just work straight into it. So you can actually, because these are woodless ones, you can dip these in water and it won't destroy them. Whereas if you dipped your watercolour pencil in water, the water soaks up the wood and it would destroy the lead in it. Whereas these ones, you can't dip them in water. I've got a lot of testing still to do with these. I haven't actually played with them as much as I want to. But when I work out other things that they do, I shall let you know. So I'm just scribbling. I'm working wet on wet. And the colour's not coming out as strong as I thought it would actually, because Villainous Purple is a dark one. Are they? I think maybe it's just needed a bit get going. And all I'm doing is sticking to the very, very thingy, the base of the leaves, the petals. And even in between each one, see where they're coming up here, like where they peep out, I'm going in with the darker purple there. And that'll give it a sort of light and dark shadow. Again, I'm not being totally perfect, because it really doesn't matter all that much. And then you can kind of blend. Your water brush as well, it doesn't need to be absolutely soaking wet. You can just have it damp, and that way you get some better results sometimes as well. So if it's too wet, your colour can bleed and you can pull it out too much. But there we go. I like the purple sunflower diamond wedding anniversary. See, that makes more sense. I'm very sorry. I did not mean to be totally ignorant there. Like, I'm just dozy. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Scribble them on the mat as well. And then pick them up. Absolutely 100%. You can do that as well with your watercolour pastels and things, or even your oil pastels, and then you can pick them up. That's a good one as well. Caroline, our Caroline. I'm going to go in with the pretty much the similar yellow as I have got, which is mustard seed. I think the lemonade, if we had one, would have been better, but not all the distressed colours are in this pack. I think you'll have to bring some more out, and soon, because I'll need them all now. And then I've gone in with the orange as well. And just blend. I think purple sunflower should really be a thing. Yeah, it's one of the first things I did when they came, is I sorted them into colours. And again, I seem to go for the new colours. This one's Rustic Wilderness. I seem to go for these more often than I go for the older ones. So I think we really were missing them. And just scribbling. I'm going for darker in the middle, and I'm going to go for lighter around the edges of the leaves, I think. No particular reason why, just that I want to. I say lighter, this one is peeled paint and it looks quite dark, so I'm going to switch to Twisted Citron. I'm going to keep it bright to match with the yellower. And I'm scribbling again. I'm not being too precious about staying inside the lines. We are going to die cut it out, and the die cut does leave a white outline. So if you go out the edges, it just sort of, well, it hides it. It looks like it's been watercoloured. 100% sort of thing. It adds character, is what I'm going to go with. So, mix in the dark. And this is again another reason why it's always good to just have a damp brush rather than a really wet brush, because you've got more control over how much stuff's mixed. If you want more, you can always add more water, but taking it away is a lot harder. And we're nearly done. And then I will dry it off. And we will emboss it and die cut it. I'm going to bring this back in here. Has anybody else got the distress crayons? Pencils? Where's me? I really think sunflowers need to be purple too. I don't think tonight's going to be a disaster at all. I was starting to think maybe it was going to be week 2 and disaster. But no, I think it's going to be nice. I'm going to keep that one because I want to use that as well. I want some tape for the die. And I need to locate what I did with the box for the sunflower now. Are they? So I'm going to die cut it first and then I'm going to emboss it with the quadrille. Ideally, what we could have done is, if I thought on about it, is we could have just used the stencils, but and used the pretty colours inside, purples and things. But I enjoyed using the watercolours, so it's fine. Again, no rules. You can use the, if you've got it at home, you can use the words, Emma, the stop coming, the stencil, if you want to. That's the beauty with them. Has everybody tried the quadrilles now? Has everybody at least got one? Oh, Elizabeth, we need to lock you in your craft room and get you playing. So the quadrille, in case anybody doesn't know about it, it's from Stamps by Me. It's a brand new concept where we've all been die cutting, we've all been using embossing folders, and we've all been stamping for an absolute multitude of however long. But we've never ever had my tape stuck to it. Bear with, I think I used too sticky a tape. It might be a disaster. Nah, it's not. Oh, it's moved. Be fine. It's moved on the leaf. What we can do, if it does move on your leaf and there's too much white, just trim it off. It's fine. Easy fix. This one combines them all. Obviously, quadrille is 4D. That's what it means in French, and it's just, it does what it says on the tin. I mean, when I say 4D, it really, really packs a punch with the embossing, and you'll see the absolute difference that you get with it as soon as I pop it through here. And that's the beauty of it as well. It does not need to be totally perfect with the embossing because it looks amazing no matter what. So if you slightly outline a little bit like I just did there with the die, it's still going to look absolutely spectacular once it's been embossed. But again, you can use the embossing folder on its own, you can use the stamps on their own like I have done many a time, you can use the stencils on their own. It's like you get it all, so you can make up a massive big portrait of all kinds of different stuffs. It's fabulous. The sunflower is stunning. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's unbelievable. And they're not just any kind of embossing folder. They are 4D embossing folders as well. So they push the card even further. And it's just absolutely stonking. I mean, look at that. Who doesn't love purple and yellow together? Look at it. And I do think we need to start up a protest for Mother Nature to bring out purple sunflowers. I am going to, because I've used lace in the background, I've got this of just spiderweb netting, and I'm going to tear it a bit so it's not totally, I'm not very into having everything square like identical, so I'm going to chew through it with the scissors and tear it off until I get a really misshapen bit. And because we've got this in the background and this one, this is going to make it pop totally forward. Can you see just how that little bit of netting, I think it's spiderweb lace, this one, makes it all just pop totally forward. And again, if you want it to pop even more, you can ink around the edges with a dark colour. You can use a brown, you can use a black, you can use whatever colour takes your fancy, a grey. And again, it just makes it all pop a little bit more. Or you can even mount it onto black card and fussy cut around it so it leaves a black edge. You can see. But then we can take it even further and we can go back in with the white as well, which isn't working. Come on, there it is. That's starting to work. We'll have dots. I'll add in a few little highlights just on the ends. Little lines and things. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just dots and dashes. And it just gives you the feeling that there's light shining on it. Again, if you don't like the scribbly line, just rub it in with your finger. If you don't like a little scribble of the white, just sort of push it out a little bit, and you don't end up with the pen lines either. I want lots of little dots and dashes. Dots and dashes. Well, I'm thinking, as much as I did think it was going to end in disaster when I seen how dark that purple was against the yellow, I think it's turned out pretty spectacular. And I am going to use the pin flare gel. So it honestly, use things that you wouldn't usually use. Oh, the glue gel I'm using will stick the netting down as well, without having to glue it separately, and just works out perfect. So I don't necessarily want it really 3D. I just want to make sure that goes through the netting. Your normal PVA glue and things will do that as well. But it's just a hint, then you don't have to stress about the sticking the netting and stuff down. Now around this, it looks very untidy to me. This side I'm not bothered about, I'll probably use this side. But I do have a charcoal grey. These are the Inktense. I do like the Inktense as well, the pencils. You will see I use these quite often. I'm going to ink all the way around. Or you could have just used your brush. But I'm thinking stick with the theme. You could have used black soot or ground espresso or whatever you want as well. Whatever you've got. I just kind of know what I like and I'll stick to it with this. I'm going to just pull it out, and it just tidies up the edge a little bit as well. And yes, this is in the journal. It doesn't matter how it looks or whatever. It's all about learning. I just find that if you finish something off, because your journals can just be practice for when you're making cards or canvases or anything. Just to make it pop that little bit more. You know, when you mat and layer your work, your cards and things like that, this will just give it a feel of that, and you'll get the idea of what it would look like turned into a card. There you go. And I don't think I'm going to add words to it because we've got the Pantone behind it, and I think I'm happy with that. What do you reckon for some off the cuff, haven't got a clue what we're doing kind of inspiration? And I don't think I would have ever made this with the purple sunflower or with the background if I hadn't have picked that card out and had to use a lot of help. What do you think? So who's going to join in? Is everybody going to go and get, everybody who hasn't, going to go and get some colour charts and things and play along? Because I really do think it's a mojo booster. I'm thinking now, what else? That can turn purple. Sorry. What do you think? You reckon it's amazing? I love that. So we have last week's, which was this colour here, which was pretty much the same colour as the book, actually, wasn't it? Which was the coffee and cream. And I've got the purple. And it's a very big contrast between the 2 weeks. And it's a change up of style completely to what... I wonder what we'll get next week. We'll have it Sunday 8 o'clock again, because at the minute it's working. So we'll stick with it. I will pop in the community bit, and I'll let you know on Facebook if I have to change the date. But for the time being, it's working. Actually, what's the date next week? We might not be able to do it Sunday next week. We might have to change. More is coming on that very soon, but scrap the Sunday plan, because I think there's something happening Sunday, which you'll all find out next week, if I've got the dates right. But there we go. Very happy. I'll take a picture and I'll put it on Facebook. I'll see if I can work out how to do it on the community. I'm going to say, because the whole tablet froze, on Thursday and it took 24 hours for the video to load up, I'm going to say, just keep trying to come back and comment. Stay put for 2 minutes. I'm going to go back. So I'm coming off the chat and everything here, and I'm going to go back and see what Christopher has said. I'm looking for my messages off him. I sent him a message about comments. And 2 seconds, we're just waiting. We are just waiting for confirmation of the child. Oh, we're waiting. We're waiting. Susan Brown. Is that a lady who has commented last week? Hang on, I'm looking. I'm double checking he's on the right one. Yes. So Susan, if you get in touch, if you can't get in touch with us on Facebook, get in touch with me via Stamps by Me. Just explain, it's in the email, explain that. The Colour of the World Inspiration Week. Colour Inspiration YouTube Live, and I've offered a prize for it. So come back after, keep trying, it'll appear at some point, and leave a comment underneath, and I'll do something similar. Obviously it probably won't be the same, but I've got a page of this I can send. I'll think of something and I'll send you out a little something. So yes, thank you very, very much. I think it come together pretty well, didn't it, considering not having a clue. And I'm quite excited for next week as well. I'm slightly starting to panic a little bit in case something pops up and I'm like, I don't know what to do. But thank you so, so much. And I will see you all on Tuesday on Facebook for the journal. Have a lovely week. Bye.